Hey everyone, this is Living Dead Gal and welcome back to another Sims 4 video. Welcome to the channel if you are new. Today we are going to be kicking off a brand new showcase series where I go through all of my favorite CC in all of the categories that are available to us in Create a Sim. So this is going to be part one of several videos because guys, I have way too much CC. Currently right now my folder is at like 287 gigabytes. No, I'm not kidding. I do have a problem, but the good thing is you guys can benefit from my problem because I'm going to be providing you all with lots and lots of links with each of these videos. For this video, we are going to be covering all of the body sliders and body presets that I use. And then for the next video in the series, we will go into face presets and face sliders. So I'm starting with sort of like the base of how I create my Sims, and then we're going to work our way up. So we will kind of slowly go through each category based on the order that I design my Sims. So to kick us off here, I have two base Sims. I basically just added some Sims in Create a Sim, rolled the dice, and then took all of their stuff off. They are pretty much CC free, except I gave them some alpha eyebrows just because I had to, just because it was bothering me. And no shade to like Max's Match eyebrows, just the eyebrows that the game had assigned to them. They weren't working. So anyway, this is Vincent Price. When I rolled the dice, I got the name Vincent, so I gave him the last name Price. Leave a comment down below if you are also a fan of Vincent Price. No, he probably won't come out looking like the real Vincent Price, but that's okay. So anyway, this is him. He has completely random traits. He is completely free of CC with the exception of the eyebrows I slapped on him and my defaults. I have default feet replacements, default skin overlay, default eyes, and default teeth, but everything else is just base, nothing else. So that is our male framed model, Vincent Price. Our female framed model is Marion Crow, another completely randomly generated Sim that we are going to be testing all of the presets out on in today's video. So there will be in the description a Google Doc linking you to all of the presets and sliders that I'm going to cover. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first slider that I want to talk about that many of you probably know about is the Luumia Hip Slider. This is a big one. It can cause some glitches in your game, and I will cover those, but basically you can grab the neck of your Sim and you can make them taller or shorter. Now you could make your Sim very short, you know, and what you can see does happen is their knees will bend to kind of fit the constraints. Again, you know, it's a great mod, it's an amazing mod, but it is custom content, so it's not going to be perfect with everything in the game. As you make them taller, you can kind of see how they grow. So you can have a variety of different heights for your Sim. Now, things that it's going to alter in the game are down here, like the little profile picture. It is going to change the placement of their headshot in that profile picture. And you also may run into some issues, if any of you have watched my Let's Plays, I'm sure you've seen it, where you end up having like occasionally like their arm will disappear or their foot will disappear, and sometimes I just have to go in and cast and make them a little bit taller. Honestly, to me, for the realism that it adds, it is 100% worth it. Now, occasionally you may have instances where your Sims, if you're trying to pose them, it's a little bit tricky. So I would recommend if you're going in to pose your Sims, come back into cast before you do your poses and just set them at a standard height, because most poses actually will adjust the height of your Sims depending on the pose, and it'll be a little bit tricky to get them to line up if you are using that height slider. The next section that I want to go to is the upper body. There is a slider by Vibrant Pixels that allows you to adjust arm thickness. So what I can do here now is I actually have the ability when I grab the upper arm to really significantly make the arm much larger, which I appreciate because it just kind of expands what you can naturally do in the game. There is also the option to kind of widen the width of the forearm, so it really just kind of expands that a little bit. You also are able to take this from the side and kind of expand your arms. You can see I've kind of made them about as big as we can go, but it's just nicer to be able to kind of adjust those arms and make them a little bit thicker for your Sims. Now, another cool thing that comes with this slider is it has an additional hip slider. And if we go here, you actually use the back of the forearm, and as I move up, it's actually going to adjust the placement of her hips, which is super cool. Now, obviously that's sort of an extreme example, so, you know, you can kind of play with it as you see fit, but I always kind of thought that that was like a really cool feature of this slider, is that I can kind of adjust where her hips sit using that sort of point on the slider scale. Speaking of hips, and going back to Luumia, as we kind of move into our midsection area, we have actually also got a hip slider from Luumia, and this works really cool because you grab the hips, and actually if you raise up, it kind of brings like some structure to this area and adds a little bit more definition. Or if you pull it down, you can have more of that pear shape, which is really nice as well. So I do really appreciate just kind of like the subtle details of this slider. It really helps kind of define, you know, different curves and features for your Sims and give you a little bit more realism in your body type. The next one that I actually want to talk about is by Pirumxsim. So this is the adjustable belly button and neck slider. So the way this one works is you're going to want the left shoulder, and you are going to kind of pull left and right on your left shoulder, and you can see that it kind of deepens or sinks in the belly button. Now, I know that's a really small, really fine detail, but I do think that's super nice just to add a little bit more realism to your Sims. So you can, you know, have it be more like outward, like that. And I mean, it doesn't change the shape of the stomach, it just kind of changes the depth, which is really cool. Or you can bring it in. So I think that one is really cool. That's one of my favorite finds. Now, the next one that I really like is the belly slider by Highland. Now, the way that this one functions is that you are able to kind of just adjust the belly like how you normally would, but if you can see, it's actually replaced the shape of the belly to be a more soft belly versus like what we would refer to as like a pot belly or like a pregnant looking belly. Like it looks more natural, you know, when you have a little bit more of a stomach area and it's not perfectly flat and concave, you know, as many of the Sims, you know, the pre-mades come out like that. You are going to have a little bit more of a softness. It's not going to be like a round ball. It's not going to necessarily look pregnant. And so this belly slider kind of does that. It adds just a little bit more of a curve, which I personally really like. Being someone who's plus size, I feel like that allows to have more accurate representation of, you know, people who are a bit curvier. The next slider that I really like, and this is a newer find, is also by Pirumxsim, and this is a slider for realistic legs and natural knees. So there's some very specific points that you have to grab on the feet of the Sim in order to make these adjustments. So the first one is, if you go here where the foot is and you pull up and down, you'll see how it actually allows you to sort of turn the thighs inward just a little bit more. The thighs and the knees kind of turn. So it's not like 100% straight, which I think is really cool because not everyone's, you know, knees are like perfectly straight down like that. If you go from the side and you pull up and down, it's a very subtle, hard to see, but you can actually watch her knees will move and it will actually change the rotation of how her knees kind of face. So I will try to zoom in on this in editing so that you can get like a better picture, but it's really cool. Just that subtle detail, kind of similar to the belly button, but I really like that for adding a little bit more definition to the knee area. And this last one is super cool. So for this, if I actually grab like the back of the ankles, I can actually kind of give like a little bit more of like a bow-legged appearance, which I mean, this is extreme, obviously. So that is one thing with sliders, you have to like, you know, you don't want to go too far with them. But I just think that's kind of nice that you can kind of change the stance of your Sim for when they stand. I just think that's a cool feature to, again, add a little bit more realism. Next up are leg sliders by Bloodmoon, and I really like these because they allow you to actually make the thigh area significantly larger than what you're able to do in the game, so you can definitely have a lot more curves. Same with your calves as well, so it just allows you to kind of expand on what the game gives you, and it's really nice because, again, I actually really like the sliders that kind of expand on like what we already have in the game, and so you can actually have, like, you know, a more realistic, like thicker looking sim, which is really nice. So that is by Bloodmoon. So that is it for sliders. We are going to move on to presets. So the first set of presets that I want to cover are actually the height presets. So with the height slider, you also get a set of height presets, and those can be found in the body section. We're going to talk about body presets in a second, but just to show you, this actually allows you to change the height of your sim just using these different presets that Luumia created with the mod. So if you don't want to use the slider, you can tweak their height using one of these pre-selected presets. Again, you can see with the smaller, you do have a little bit of a bend in the knees. That's just kind of the nature of how that one works. I don't tend to use those as much, but I did, you know, I prefer to just drag it myself, but I did want to show that as an option, just so you know that that's going to come with that mod. So speaking about height, there's actually another preset I want to show you, but we're going to actually go through a couple of different life stages. So I'm actually going to bring Marion down to a teen. So at the teen stage, I actually have a preset that is in her forehead, and this is by Nivea. This is a shorter teen preset. This will make your teenagers shorter. So it creates a body type that definitely feels more teenage than the teenagers that we have in the game. There are two options with it. There is one where it makes the chest a little smaller so that they look a little younger, more preteen, and then there's one that kind of retains that. It just changes the height. This is available in the head shape preset section, and there's also the same preset available if I click on her ear. It is also available there. I do also have a mod that will auto apply it to any new teens that get generated in the game. I will put a link to that mod as well. So the next stage I want to show you is at a child, because I also have some height stages for children and toddlers. We've actually got, this is by Redhead Sims. This is small, medium, big, and short. So it's going to be a little jarring at first because we're super used to specific height sizes for our Sims, but we've got small, we've got short, we've got medium, and we've got big. Now big feels a little bit big for a kid. This I'm thinking would be more like 12, 13 years old. Part of it too is just what we're used to in the game, but it actually will allow you, it's not necessarily something you would do like if you're very challenge heavy and you're moving through generations, or if you're doing Let's Plays on YouTube. I don't tend to use this as much, but in like my off time, like any off-camera Sims games that I'm playing, I do like this because you can add sort of like some additional life stages to your children. If you had two kids in your game and you don't want them to look like they're the same age, you could use these presets to kind of have one of them look a little bit younger than the other simply just by changing the height. Same concept, there's also a very similar one for toddlers, also by Redhead Sims. So we've got the toddler version of her here. I'm going to go to bodies, and we've got different stages. So I'm going to show you all the different stages. So this is stage 1, super tiny. This is more like your newborn. Stage 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So yeah, this gets a little bit big for a toddler, so this would probably be where you're moving from like into toddler, into kid, but this again allows for different life stages. This is really helpful for realism, or even truly just for like posing your Sims if you wanted to get some family photos of them. You'll notice I have two sets here. The second set is actually the one that I use for newborn poses. And that is this set here. I use the small and the short. Usually poses that involve newborns will tell you which rig that you want to use. most of the time it's small. So it is gonna look a little funny. Your toddler is just gonna look like a little mini Sims 4 toddler, but there's tons of CC out there that allows you to kind of design your toddler to look like a newborn. So if you've seen my thumbnails where I've got like the Sims holding a newborn baby, this is what I am using to create that effect of them looking like a newborn. So now that we have covered all of the height presets, the next one that I want to look at is kind of related to life stages. I want to actually look at one that is for children, and it's a body preset. So we're going to move into body presets. If I click on her ear, and I go to this preset, which is Preteen, you'll actually see that it gives her a little bit more curves. This is for like your female Sims, if you want them to feel a little bit more like preteens. So if you want to have a preteen, you can apply this preset, and before they're a preteen, they can look more like a child. So just as your Sims are starting to develop and get older, it's a really nice body preset to have in the game. I do know there's a preteen mod, which is really cool and really awesome, but if you don't want to use the mod, or if you want to use this with the mod to create even more life stages, I just think it's a really nice body preset by Redhead Sims. So now we are going to look at the body presets for adults. So if I go into the bodies section, you guys can see I have a lot of body presets. So the first one that I am going to cover is actually this preset by Bloodmoon. This is the Dahlia body preset. I really like this preset. Now, one thing to note with body presets, they're not always going to look exactly like the picture. It depends on sort of like how your sim is. I usually keep them in like the mid-range when I start, and then I play around with the body presets, and then I adjust the weight and muscle mass to figure that out. And that will kind of help me, you know, determine like how I like the preset for that sim and that figure. It's going to look different on every sim. It just depends on what you start with, but the presets give you shapes that give you like a new body type that you can work with that we don't necessarily have in game. The next preset that I'm going to show you is the Sweet Bod preset by Simulation Cowboy. Just adds like some nice definition for a curvier sim. Next up, we have the Calliope body preset by Aranetta. This again, just like a little bit, it brings the waist in a little bit. Now, something like this, I might bring it out a little bit more, but just so you can kind of see the different shape that it adds. Also by Aranetta is the Give Me Curves body preset. I do like this one for plus size Sims or curvier Sims. Next up is this body preset by Baby Tears. This one is called the Moon body preset, and I do really like this one just because it definitely adds like a lot more curves to your sim. Next, I've got a set of body presets by Uno. I really like these body presets. They're just some subtle definition changes, but they work really nicely, and we've got a range of like thinner to curvier, which I really like, and it just creates some unique shapes. So the next creator I'm going to show to you is Vibrant Pixels. I have a lot of their different presets linked, but I absolutely love their body presets. I have a bunch of them. It's all this section right here. A More to Love set of presets, which is really nice for curvier Sims as well. So I really do love having these in my game. But just to show you, this set is probably my absolute favorite by them. It just adds like, you know, again, more of like a pear shape to your sim. I'm pretty sure I actually use one of these on Minty if you watch my Not So Berry series. I really love these. These are definitely my favorite sets, especially like this one here. I think this may be the one that I use for Riley for Whimsy, but it adds like some hip dips, and it's just really nice. Much more realistic body types than what we get in game. Next up is Highland. I really like Highland. They have a lot of really nice body presets. This one is the Jaguar body preset. I absolutely love that one. This one is the Salvage body preset. And this one is the Savage body preset. So lots of different options. I mean, this one is really cool. Like you can kind of see how it like adds like a new bend to the knees. Next up is the Vanya preset by Miko. I love this one, guys. Again, for curvier Sims, it's a really beautiful body preset. Also by Miko is this Serena body preset. This allows your sim to have more of an arched back. This works a lot for like some of your like thinner sims. You can definitely still like make it work though for larger shapes, which is the beauty of these presets, is you can kind of have your sim be at any size. I just would apply the preset before you really start getting like the muscle mass and the weight that you want. So this next one is the Honey Dip preset. This is by, they used to be called No Name Studios, but now on their Patreon they are No Envy Me Studios. They have really amazing presets, and I love this body preset because it really gives you like a lot more definition in the thigh area. So next up is a pack of presets by Obscurus that I really like. There's several presets that are included in it. I think I've actually got 2 sets, and I will link them both down below. Some of them, you know, make your sims like a little bit teenier and tinier, but again, you can kind of tweak as you see fit the body shape. This one, actually, this might be the one that I used on Riley in Whimsy, but it just adds, you know, some different body shape, you know, some different stomach sizes, some different thigh sizes and shapes, and just it's really nice because that way you can use different presets on your sims and they all can look super different, which I absolutely love, so that they don't all just have the same body type. So I absolutely love this set by Obscurus. I think I've actually got 2 of their sets of presets in my game, and I really like these. I think they're just great for adding some different shapes. So next we are going to take a look at some male body presets. I don't have quite as many male body presets as I do female, but you know that's kind of the drill with CC shopping. The first set that I want to show you is Obscurus. There are 2 different sets by them. There's the N1 and N2, and then the N3 and N4. We are going to take a look at all of them. So this is the N1, this is the N2. The N2, it does like kind of bring their waist down a little bit. I tend to use the N2 quite a lot because I really like the like definition that it adds to the hips. I just tend to like bring them out a little bit more, but I do actually use this one on quite a few of my male sims. Next up is the N3 and the N4. So you can see it creates a more realistic body type. Again, you know, different shapes for the thighs than what you get with the EA body preset. Next is the Highland I Like Boys body preset pack. I really like this one. Lots of different varieties of shapes and different cuts for your male sims. I really like this set of presets. Okay guys, so we're gonna wrap this up here. I know that the 2 sims, I really haven't done anything with their bodies. I was kind of just showing you everything. I might like evolve them over time as we kind of slap on more and more CC and test more and more out. But for now, they are still just kind of base sims. So I hope that you guys have found lots of good stuff as far as body presets and sliders. I'm really excited for the next portion of this because I have actually recorded and put together all of the footage and links for those as well, so that will be coming really soon. I hope you found lots of good stuff. I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, please just do leave a comment below letting me know, or give this video a thumbs up because it lets me know that you would like to see more of this particular CC showcase series. We will do absolutely everything. We're gonna cover it all. We're gonna cover nails, beards, tattoos, piercings, facial hair, body hair, eyes, all of it. It's just gonna take a lot of videos because I have a lot of stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!